Practicing free speech or perpetuating pandemic lies. Parade banners saying expose COVID fraud and the real virus is fear. Tonight, anger and questions build over Webster Groves July 4th parade and the anti-vaccine and misinformation allowed to march.
This is one of the most clicked on stories on the KMOV News app right now. And now this all begs the question of what's allowed in a city-sponsored event. Could some of the most radical groups get in next year? Well, News 4's Russell Kinsall is getting answers to your questions that you've been asking. And Russell is live tonight in Webster Groves. Russell?
Well, right here, this intersection of East Lockwood and Selma in Webster Groves is where the Webster Groves 4th of July parade and the controversy began. The city says it had no choice, even if it knew ahead of time that the group had an anti-vax message. It had no choice, could not stop them from being in the parade, which begs the question, could a neo-Nazi group be in next year's parade? Video of the anti-vaccination group marching in the Webster Groves Community Days parade is on social media, and so is the criticism.
This is what we have allowed in our country at this point in the game. We're allowing disinformation to spread rapidly, and at the moment, they're giving a big platform in Webster Groves to it.
An application to march in the parade was submitted by a group called Keys to a Healthy Gut. Their application says nothing about being anti-vaccination. The Webster Groves city attorney told News 4 that even if the city knew the group would be marching to spread disinformation, the city would have had to let them march because of the First Amendment. I asked a St. Louis University law school professor to dive into that.
In a government-sponsored parade, as long as your type of speech is not inciting people to violence or similar behaviors that the law does not allow for, this is actually protected under the First Amendment.
Webster University is a financial sponsor of the parade. If it had been the actual organizer of the parade and not the city, could it have banned the group and its disinformation?
If the organizing entity is not a government entity, then the First Amendment applies in a very different way. So we would be looking at a very different scenario.
Webster Groves residents have criticized the city for allowing the group in the parade, but the city had no choice. So I ask, would the city have to allow the KKK or a neo-Nazi group if they applied next year?
If it's just political speech, their views, and if those do not incite to violence, they are entitled to protection.
Back live now with the church bells ringing behind me. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I reached out to the person who submitted the application, as well as a group, an anti-vaccination group that posted online that it would be marching in the parade, holding a banner and passing out literature. Still waiting to hear back from both. Live in Webster Groves, Russell Kinsall, News 4.